In this video, I'll give you the players shooting up draft boards who you may want to avoid in 2024 redraft leagues. I'm Jim Coventry of Rotowire. All right, Malik Nabers is going to be a star in the NFL. It might be this year, it might be soon after. It's going to happen. But right now, Malik Nabers is shooting up draft boards. Now, look, he, in many years, may have been the first overall wide receiver selected. Marvin Harrison was there. Nabers was second. No shame in that. We know that Nabers was a great separator in college, runs phenomenal routes. He also can win downfield. And like the great receivers of today, you can line him up anywhere along the formation. Now, in college, wasn't overly aggressive. Sometimes physical corners could give him a bit of a problem. So there's going to be a little bit to clean up with his game, but that could go away quickly. My biggest problem is this. Daniel Jones is throwing him the football. Now, we have seen rookie receivers in the last 4 years have the 3 highest marks for yardage ever. We had 1,400-yard seasons out of Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Puka Nacua. The good thing with those players, they were attached to excellent quarterbacks. You had Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow, and you even had last year for Puka Nacua, you had Matthew Stafford. Malik Nabers is walking into Daniel Jones, who's coming off an ACL injury. The quarterback room in New York is obviously a mess. Brian Daboll, the coach, is certainly going to want us to have a lot of passes designed to go to Malik Nabers. But last year, we saw Garrett Wilson see massive targets, struggle to hit 1,100 yards. Now, the quarterback play with the Giants may not be as bad as Garrett Wilson had it with the Jets, but it may not be terribly far off of that. And with real lack of threat in the running game for the Giants, I mean, right now, Devin Singletary is their running back. Defenses can put all the attention they want on Nabers, and again, force Daniel Jones to go elsewhere with the football. That said, Nabers have decent numbers. But where he's going in drafts now, which is sometimes is the wide receiver 15. Situation, maybe a little bit of a learning curve, a little too early for me. The next player is Isiah Pacheco of the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, Pacheco is going as a RB1 in 12-team leagues, and rightfully so. And you saw his numbers from last year. He gets big yardage. He's very good as a receiver. He can score in the red zone. What is not to like? Durability is a concern. As a rookie, Pacheco played the entire season. Now, the workload wasn't that heavy, but in the offseason, he had surgeries to his shoulder and his hand. Last year, during the season, he missed a couple games with a shoulder surgery. Isiah Pacheco runs with reckless abandon. He runs upright. He may have weighed in at 215 coming into the league. He's not a big back. He runs as if he is Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, or maybe even Derrick Henry. Pacheco's not. Pacheco, we've already seen with the number of surgeries this quickly, is a player that is not going to come out on the best end of these collisions time and again. And the Chiefs are talking about getting him even more work this year. That could be a big problem. When Pacheco is on the field, he is going to be a strong fantasy asset for you. Teams play the Chiefs. They play their safeties back. Plenty of room to run. Pacheco gets those free yards. Pacheco has very little vision beyond that, but he doesn't need it. He has plenty of room to get yardage. But like I said, you're drafting him, and you're drafting him fairly high. There's a very good chance that running style is going to get him on the shelf for a period of time. If you enjoy videos like this, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to the Rotowire Fantasy Football channel on YouTube. Also, you can check out all of our fantasy football content and rankings by getting a free 2-day trial with no credit card needed. You just head on over to rotowire.com/Jim, and you can see all of our content. The last player who's moving up draft boards, and we have to be careful about drafting, is Jaylen Warren of the Pittsburgh Steelers. In some ADPs, Jaylen Warren is now moved ahead of Najee Harris. And a lot of people say, oh, well, Warren's a better running back. Of course he has. Okay, maybe he is. But we see it all the time. The speed back, who's the number 2 in a running back duo, often gets great opportunities in that role. We've seen running backs like after last year, Tyjae Spears. Maybe he's a star, but Derrick Henry softens up the defense. And then obviously Tyjae Spears comes in. Defense is playing at Henry's speed. Well, that's much slower than the speed Tyjae Spears is. We saw it in Dallas 2 years ago. Ezekiel Elliott ran the engine of the offense. Tony Pollard would come in as the change of pace, ripping off 6 yards of carry almost. Wow. What happened last year? Pollard was the guy, not so hot. If Jaylen Warren does move ahead of Najee Harris and he becomes the lead guy, Harris probably benefits because the defense is playing faster. Harris more of a power guy. But I think in Arthur Smith's offense, the power runner is the one they're going to use. I know Najee Harris is not Derrick Henry, but when Arthur Smith was running offense in Tennessee, he ran the power back. We've seen him like that. We've seen him like Tyler Algier quite a bit in Atlanta when he was there. Algier got a lot of work. The power back's going to get a lot of work. So Warren will probably still be in the same scheme in terms of the change of pace guy. But that said, the receiving work. How much receiving work is there going to be in this offense under Arthur Smith? Last year, there was a lot of work that went to Warren, but Warren is only 6.1 yards per catch. So as dynamic as a running back he wasn't really dynamic as a receiver. So all that said, Warren will have a decent season. He's going to get work. But all that said, moving ahead of Najee Harris, I think when it's said and done, Harris sustains an offense. Warren is best as a change of pace guy. And I think his end of season numbers are going to reflect that.